Okay then, Dean, so take a look at these two swings now. The left-hand one was coming over 4. We can see now with the driver where you were struggling, that ball, you said, curving a long way to the right, or generally being very, very low left if your reaction to those slices was kicked in. If we look at your body positioning now, for me, it's a bit more weight kind of leaning forward on that front foot, which is okay for irons to some extent. But really with the driver, you want to get yourself positioned a bit more behind the ball, trying to create a different sort of angle into the golf. Now, because of this leaning on the left side, your left hand grip and right hand in some ways was a little bit weak from what we call your neutral. So we've got to get you into a more kind of a stronger, more natural neutral position to set up. And you can see up here now, we stood on the right, lifting the club up in front of you. Just rotate that club face around in your hands a little bit. So the club face now points down to the ground. So it's kind of leaning. If green line here represents kind of 12 o'clock, the club's tipping towards 10:30, 11 o'clock kind of position. So you're moving yourself round to the right hand side, the grip. So make sure that club face is twisted like so, rotating in your hands as we can show you there. And then when you put the golf club back down now, to square the club face up, you will see your body position once you get sort of set to waggling is a little bit more leaning back behind the golf ball, getting a nice kind of spine angle lean, and your left hand grip. Now if we zoom in there, we can see a little bit more of that logo on that glove. So that was for me more of your natural position. And in some ways that could actually go a little bit further over, if truth be told. So it's finding that natural sort of setup that returns the club face back to the ball pretty straight. We can see here now, if we compare the two positions just from where your head is, if we draw a line straight down from there and then draw a line straight down from there, how you're a bit more kind of on top of the golf ball there, leaning on your left hand side. And that's going to say create a sort of steeper angle of attack, which will encourage, if you're not careful with the driver, that sliced off to the right. So with that slightly adjusted setup now, you can make basically your normal swing. You can sort of turn back behind the golf ball. Your hands can now come back into impact, as you can see. Your impact position, next frame there. Hands nicely on top of the golf ball, spine angle leaning back here. So you're kind of returning back to sort of similarist position to where you started. The problem is that on this left-hand one, if you set up like so and return back to that image on the right, that club face is going to be wide open, thus resulting in that ball spinning off to the right. So take a bit of time to practice with that setup, getting into a position where that club feels comfortable and natural here without the need of obviously doing this sort of twisting up here. This is going to be something to practice at home to get in the right position. And then once that club gets down behind the golf ball, just visually how you see your hand over your left foot there, as you can see, getting your head behind the golf ball and more logo on that left hand shown. Once you get yourself more comfortable in that position, you can then get on the golf course and just get into this position without the lifting of the club like this. You just grab a golf club, set yourself up correctly, and you'll find yourself in a much more efficient position to return that club back to the ball square. So work on that setup then, Dean. Any questions, obviously, give me a shout, but I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers, mate.